Check. Check 1, 2. Would you please rise for the bride? You may be seated. On behalf of the family, I would like to welcome you to the marriage ceremony of Amar and Ivana King as they celebrate their union and make a lifelong commitment to one another. Who presents this woman to this man?
We do.
Dear friends and family, we are gathered here today to encourage, support, and celebrate the marriage of Amar and Ivana. In the time they have been together, their love and understanding for each other has grown and matured and led them to this moment. With love and commitment, they have decided to live their lives together as husband and wife. As we join them in marriage, we also create a new bond and a new sense of family, one that will certainly include everyone who is present here today. Now, this beautiful couple would like to thank you for being here. All of you have played an important role in their lives, and you hold a special place in their thoughts and affections. It is appropriate and meaningful that they call upon you today to take part in celebrating this important event. So thank you for surrounding this couple in love and offering them the joy of your friendship and for being here to share in this very important moment. They would especially like to recognize and honor their parents on this occasion. They offer their immense appreciation for all the love and care that you've shown in raising them. The unconditional gifts of love and support that you have continually offered have inspired them to become who they are today. And they honor the example that you have set forth in your lives. In fact, both couples represent over 81 years of successful marriage, which is impressive indeed. Can we give them a... Now, without you, this day would not be possible, nor would this day be filled with anticipation of creating a new family filled with love, adventure, and purpose. And this beautiful couple has a nice little gift to give to you in honor of the amazing job that you've done as parents. Amar, Ivana. The perfect description of what love truly looks like was written centuries ago. And it reads, love suffers long and is kind. Love does not envy. Love does not parade itself, and it's not puffed up. Love does not behave rudely. It does not seek its own. It's not provoked, and it thinks no evil. Love does not rejoice in injustice, but rejoices in the truth. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, and endures all things. And love never fails. Now, love creates memories, and oftentimes in those memories resides emotion that needs to be revisited from time to time. So for the next few minutes, we're going to take a quick walk down memory lane and recall what has brought the two of you to the altar together today. But before we do that, part of the memories that we make in life are with our friends. So I want to call Victoria forward, and she has something that she'd like to read to commemorate not only your friendship and the love that the two of you share, but the love that you and Amar share. So Victoria, will you come forward?
Hello. I'm just a little giddy. As Ivana and Amar's new journey together begins, may it be filled with the sweetness and lightness of cotton candy sundaes, sprinkled with pop rocks that sparkle on the tongues and gums. May your days be long like noodles uncut and filled with pleasure and sustenance that juicy glutinous dumplings bring. May the rhythm and melody of your love song be like the dance of tennis balls on the court, and your conversations be like the graceful glides and swings of Ivana's backhands and forehands. And may your lives be filled with adventure and beauty like Disney's Jungle Book movie in 3D. For all those who wonder, why these things? It's because I had the pleasure to witness Amar and Ivana loving each other, enjoying each of these activities together. May this bond continue to take more lovely, adventurous, and harmonious flight and be filled with everlasting bliss. Yep.
Yes, thank you, Victoria. I love that. I love the words that you wrote and that it actually came together because it was things that you had witnessed in the relationship. So now, let's get back to your story and a little bit deeper into how the two of you met. So rather than randomly finding one another, you intentionally sought each other out. And in March of 2016, you went on your first date to the Tantalum, is that right? The Tantalum restaurant in Long Beach. You met at the restaurant and spent a few hours together watching the semifinals of a tennis match. No surprise to anyone who's in the room that there might be tennis involved somehow. So however, you actually spent more time talking than you did watching the games. Now, the two of you had an amazing time together, and Amar, you said you hung on every word that she spoke. And by the end of the date, you were already head over heels for her. Now, Ivana, you said that you had an amazing time, and Amar really piqued your interest, but you were a bit more cautious. And being a gentleman, Amar gave you a hug at the end of the date, and then you went your separate ways. Now, breaking all of the modern dating rules, he called you the following day and asked you out again. So nice work, Amar. A week or so later, and you went out, and this time to Happy Hour and Wings in Seal Beach. And that night, a little flirtation was going back and forth between the two of you. And Ivana, you started to let your guard down, and you knew that Amar wasn't a game player, and your heart began to fully engage. And 3 weeks later, while out on yet another date, you exchanged phones to put in each other's numbers, and as Amar typed in his info into your phone, he wrote, Ivana's boyfriend. After some lighthearted discussion, Ivana, you agreed that, in fact, he was your boyfriend. Again, nice move, Amar. Now, having been together for over a year and a half, you've learned a great deal about one another. Ivana, you have discovered that Amar is steadfast, and he puts you number one in his life. He is very disciplined and has a place for everything. He's very organized, which is completely opposite of you, but creates balance in your relationship. He is dependable, and his friends trust and lean into him for wisdom on life's difficulties. You said you appreciate his fondness for your cat, Esmeralda, and this demonstrates his very tender side. You also said that you love it that he calls you his queen. even having it engraved on your wedding ring. He always makes you feel special, and he is very aware of your needs, and he sacrifices to meet those needs. And he has become your very best friend. And Amar, and of course you were first drawn to Ivana because of her beauty. However, you have discovered that her beauty goes much deeper than her outward appearance. You have learned that she is an overall good person. You love her personality. She is fun to spend time with, and you enjoy every minute with her. You appreciate that you can talk about anything and everything, from politics to sports. She is well-read, she's very intelligent, highly educated, and you are constantly learning from her. You said that you greatly respect her and you love just listening to her voice. You described it as music to your ears. She is passionate and affectionate, and you appreciate the way she takes care of herself and how athletic she is. She constantly introduces you to new experiences, and your diverse personalities balance each other out. And you love her $1 million smile, and she too has become your very best friend. Now, having made all of these amazing discoveries about one another, the next step became clear. And that leads us to March 11th, 2017, a day that will forever change the trajectory of your lives. Now, on this date, you went to the same tennis match that you had gone to on your first date. But this time, you went to the event at Indian Wells, sat in the stands, watching it live and in person. Amar, you had collaborated with the coordinators of the film coverage and made plans with the TV crew that covered the program that day. During the matches, the camera crew would go out to the audience, and the MC asked you a tribute question and then handed you the mic. Amar, you took the mic, said a few things expressing your love for Ivana, and you followed it up with those 4 magical words of "Will you marry me?" And as the crowd cheered you on, Ivana, you responded with a very joyful yes. And this was a really good move, Amar. Well done. And that leads us to today, the most important day in your lives as a couple. So never forget where you've come from. Never forget what you've learned along the way, and never forget the deep devotion that has helped you endure the test of time. Now, before I go any further, I would like to speak to your guests. So, friends and family, you are all present here because you share individual and unique bonds with this couple. It is my heart that you not be present just as, say, spectators of a wedding ceremony, rather as true witnesses of this marriage. And as witnesses, you may be called on someday to testify about this day and remind them of their love and commitment for one another. So I charge each of you to love, encourage, support, and when asked, to share life wisdom with them, always encouraging this couple to turn their hearts to one another, to speak positively into their relationship, and never speaking bad of either. Rather, in a unified commitment to this relationship, be the voice that keeps them soft for you. All of you were chosen for this special honor because you share special bonds with this couple, and they value you above all others, and they treasure what your relationships have meant to them. And with that in mind, you carry a special charge today. By standing up here with them, you are making a commitment to stand together with them in their marriage, in the good times and in the times of struggle. So I charge each of you to make this commitment really count today by taking a position in their lives of positive influence and encouragement, and never letting this couple stray from one another. Choose positive, affirming activities to do with one another, and always honor the marriage above your own desires. Now, Amar and Ivana, I want you to look out at the crowd. Just look out at all the smiling faces, all the smiling faces. There we go. And then I want you to look at the beautiful wedding party, the beautiful ladies off here over to the right, and then the handsome gentleman over to the left. Every person that's here today, this is your support team. Every person that's here, they're in it to win it with both of you. And I want to encourage you that if life is difficult and you bump up against some tough things in life or in marriage, that you find people in this audience that you trust, and you ask them for their wisdom and for their counsel. And I also want to tell you that as a pastor and as the person who legally joins you together today, I make myself available to both of you for a lifetime, just to encourage, cheer on, and support. So we have come to the portion of the ceremony in which they will exchange their vows. Now, this beautiful couple has chosen to write their own vows and will read them to one another at this time.
My dearest Ivana, the happiest days of my life have been when I received your parents' blessings to marry you, and when you said yes to me in my marriage proposal so confidently in front of thousands of people. Now I stand here before you, in front of our friends and family, and experiencing that same happiness. Together, you and I will continue to create happiness for one another in our shared life. I will always be there for you. You are so accomplished and truly deserving of the best spouse. You can count on me forever as the love of your life, your best friend, and your husband. I love you.
A lot shorter. Amar, from the moment I met you, I knew I could trust you. Here was a dependable man with conviction, a strong moral compass with a depth of love I had never seen before. I promise to be your best friend, to be with you through the good and bad, and to be by your side no matter what path you walk. I commit to continuing my knowledge and education about you, and use the ever-growing knowledge to treat you with understanding and love. You are my best friend and playmate who has challenged my own way of thinking in a better way. Thank you for making me a better person. I never once doubted the strength of our relationship, passion, and love for each other. I vow to always cherish and respect this bond of ours for as long as I live.
Now, covenant and commitment requires memorial. And it's something that we do to actually remember that we entered into a covenant and commitment. And that's what we do when we exchange and wear wedding rings. And you put it on a certain finger, and what does it say? First of all, it tells the whole world that you're already taken, to back off and to leave you alone, right? But it also is a permanent reminder of the love the two of you share. So, Dow, will you please hand Amar the rings? Thank you, Dow. You may place the ring on her finger and repeat after me. With this ring, I, Amar, take you, Ivana, to be my beloved wife, my confidant, my shoulder to cry on, and my best friend. From this day forth, I promise to hold you tight, to treasure you, to be at your side in sorrow and in joy, to take you with your faults and your strengths. I promise you this from my heart for all the days of my life. Very good. Ivana, you may place the ring on Amar's finger and repeat after me. With this ring, I, Ivana, take you, Amar, to be my beloved husband, my confidant, my shoulder to cry on, and my best friend. From this day forth, I promise to hold you tight, to treasure you, to be at your side in sorrow and in joy, to take you with your faults and your strengths. I promise you this from my heart for all the days of my life. Now, as we go into kind of the closing of the ceremony, first of all, I want to tell you that it's an honor and a privilege to stand up here with you today. And I've enjoyed getting to know both of you throughout this process. It really has been not only just a lot of fun for me, but just I have enjoyed watching the two of you grow, and I've enjoyed watching the two of you kind of prepare and plan as a team. And I want to say that one of the things that became very evident to me is that the two of you love each other a great deal. And as you plan your future from this day forward, I want to remind you to continue to build on that component of love, because there is nothing more important that you can do for one another than to radically love each other, because you set the standard for your home, for your relationship, and for any future generations as well. Ivana, today you are marrying a man who is strong, yet sensitive, and a man who is very loyal, and he is a man that has proven himself to be the perfect friend and companion for you. It's important that you remember that he needs your reassurance, your encouraging words, and your gentle compassion to keep him balanced and on point with life. And let me encourage you to continue to support Amar, not only in what he does, but in what he dreams of doing, always pushing him to be his very best by words of affirmation and confirmation as to the man you know him to be. And Amar, today you are marrying a woman who is very passionate and grounded, a woman who deeply loves those around her and who is driven to be her very best. I want to encourage you to remember that she is your first priority. Never give so much out to others that you have nothing left to give to her. It is on you to help foster who she is and to create an environment that she can allow her life process to become complete. And remind her daily who she is to you. And tell her frequently that she is and will always be the most beautiful woman that you've ever laid eyes on. Now, will you please bow your heads with me as we cover this marriage under God's protection? Loving Father in heaven, we ask now for your grace and wisdom to help Amar and Ivana fulfill the promises they have made here today, and to reflect your steadfast love and their commitment to each other. Give them kindness and patience, affection and understanding, happiness and contentment. Daily keep them true to one another, vulnerable to each other, and show them how to walk in deeper intimacy with each other. May this couple be joined together in peace and harmony, and may they always be there for one another. Protect them and prosper them. May they be blessed beyond their wildest imaginations. And I declare that in both of your lives, God will do exceeding abundantly above all that you could ask or think. And I call forth all the blessings of heaven to rain down on you today and in the years to come. In his loving arms we pray. Amen. Now today, both of you have shared with each other words of love and commitment through the stating of your vows. We witnessed a further expression of that love as you exchanged wedding rings. You've now joined your hands and your hearts together before your family and friends. So there's really only one thing left for me to do. Ready? With the authority granted to me by the state of California in the company of your family and closest friends, it is with honor and great joy that I now pronounce you husband and wife. And Amar, you may now kiss your bride. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure and privilege to introduce to you as husband and wife, Mr. and Mrs. Amar and Ivana Koda. Yes, thank you so much for attending the ceremony. You are dismissed to the courtyard for an additional ceremony. Thank you so much.